Okay, it should be recording now. So, thanks for all the homework hand-ins. Were there any problems you encountered along the way, or anything was unclear? I guess maybe the description was not that well thought out, but basically the task was to create some kind of node application that could manipulate the data in the MySQL database. So, there should be a possibility to add a new task and change some of the fields and so on. I saw that some of you submitted the SQL itself. That's also fine, but you should try to put it into the app to see how it behaves when you call it from there. But yeah, we can go through a few of the examples. Richard, you sent some pretty nice code. Don't know how clear it is here, but could you explain a bit what you did?
Zoom in.
Yeah, I'll try to zoom in. It's a bit slow here, but okay, what's happening now? Okay, is this big enough? Could you tell us a bit about how you did this? And
So I just add you remember the API that we created before? What was that we used? The REST API? Where we use Postman to check. It's just
in the Node.js class?
Yeah, it's called Node.js. It's a body parser.
Okay.
It's a body parser.
Yeah.
And
So
if
this
you
one.
connect, I will paste the link of my
Do you have it online?
yeah, here in the laptop. It's running now.
Oh, okay. Cool. I guess I can also try to run it here. Is it just npm start or?
And then install it, start.
Okay. Whoops. I'm missing something here. Something about dist. I'm not really a Node.js guy, so is there some command I need to run before? Build maybe? Okay, I'm not sure what's going wrong here, but maybe if you have it online, we can try to run it.
Here's the link. It should connect you to my this machine.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So that one selects do a select asterisk on the student database.
So I can do this, and we can see it in action. So there's basically a collection of users.
Yes, the one inside the user table.
So it's this one.
If you only issue /users, it will display all of the. It will do a select asterisk from user.
Yeah.
And then if you want to see specific user only, you can specify the ID.
So it's this one down here.
The next part.
Okay, yeah. Let's try that. So 1 for instance, and we get
You'll select and it will display one row. Student that has ID that you specified. The next is for the task.
Yeah. Oh, we can get all tasks as well.
/task.
And there's a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And we can get a specific task as well.
Yes.
Nice.
And then for the next part, I think you need to run the postman if you have the application.
To do
The patch, you have to, if you want to update the title, due date, or status ID, you need to use the postman application.
I think I can do something similar if I do, is it patch? And then like this, it should be. So what,
Yeah.
I can update the title. Something else. Please provide a single value. Is this correct? I don't really have Postman installed, but I guess we can assume that it's working. Did you also do a complete update, like a put or something?
I just did patch, get, post. When creating a new
To create a new
user.
task.
Yeah.
Okay. And then delete.
From both either the task table or the user table.
So when you do a post, it uses the request body here and the prepared statement as we talked about last time.
So you have to create a JSON format. Remember in the postman, you have to include everything except for the ID. And when you run it, it will auto insert it.
So if I do a post, cannot post task. Yeah, it has to be tasks like this. Bad field error.
Yeah,
Is it supposed to be? It's passing the JSON, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because it looks like it's running insert into task sets, and then it's just the JSON down here. So I guess you might have to actually specify which columns you set. It's also a good practice to do, because otherwise I can put in whatever I want. So it's better to be specific. So in this case we could open it in an editor and so I also see you're using insert into and then set. Usually it's recommended to do this instead and then have the values like this, because the other syntax, though it's actually working in MySQL, it's not working in every other database vendor. So it's probably best to use the standard way. And then I would probably do something like this, null, and then can't remember all the fields, but title and description, and so basically have a question mark for each one, and then get the data from this. So like this. Then you're sure that you're getting the right data into the table. But that's just a minor detail. Otherwise, I think it's quite nice. So we can look at, is this yours? Or no? Who's? Ah, okay. I'm sorry, I'm totally confused about names. So. Did you make it into a SQL file or? Okay. So it's this student database. Oh yeah, it was the one with the. You had the problem with the table name. So you were using the mock tool online, and we found out that this it automatically generates this or uses this table name if you don't put anything else in. So you need to make sure that you call it the right thing, and then it should work. It can also be a bit tricky when you have relations between tables. So you might have to put in nulls to begin with, and then you can manually put in which relations you need. Yeah, but the database you created, it's basically a student database with class and student, and then there's a relation from student to the class. So that's one too many. But you didn't do the Node.js stuff, or did you make some kind of application in Node? No. All right. I guess there's more of that coming for the next homework, I guess. So you can have a try it out there. Then Anua. So you made some SQL files here as well.
Actually, I just upload all the files from the class. What you guys make the node application, and I just did only one thing: change the task. That's it. Because the homework, it says in the task how it shows in the Node.js. So if you open index.js,
yeah,
just change here from task.
Oh, okay. So this part.
Yeah, then it's getting all the information from the task.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess maybe.
Because I'm not good at Node.js.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's
I understand 50%, but rest of the 50% it's very difficult to understand.
It's also can be confusing to switch between languages
Yeah.
from SQL to Node.js and back. So, but I guess we can look at the SQL files. So step 1. Yeah, you did put them here, so we can just try and run them.
I always had trouble inserting dates. Is there some trick
To inserting dates?
Yeah, for SQL.
Yeah, we can have a look at that. I'm using some other front end for the database, but it's more or less the same as the work. What's it called? Workbench. Yeah. So I don't know if it's big enough to see. We can try and run this. So basically, when you put in dates and date times, you always specify it in this format. But if you get it wrong, then I guess MySQL is not very cooperative. So, but we can try and look at how. Okay, so we get an error here. Cannot add or update a child row. That's probably because
you have to update first the class.
The class.
This class ID is the foreign.
The class ID.
Oh, sorry, it's the another one.
Oh, you mean this one, the user ID?
Yeah.
Or because 15 is not in my database, probably. So I can just put something else. Yeah, I only have 12. So let's just put 12 here. Okay. So now we should have a new row in the tasks. Yep. That's the good thing about foreign key constraints, that it doesn't let you put in something that's missing some data or that's incorrect in any way. So it's better to get an error than half the data. But yeah, when you have to put in dates, you can, if it's a date field, you can just use this part. And of course the same with the time, if you have a time column. But otherwise it's this format, and then it should work with the single quotes around. Maybe you can try it just to see if it's working. Okay. Not sure if it's the Wi-Fi that's acting up. Let's try that again. Okay. So question 2, changing the title, due date, or status of a task. And basically here you're doing all three things. So that's for task 1. And here we use the set keyword as we talked about last time. And that's the thing, you can also use it to insert in MySQL, but not in other databases necessarily. So, yep. That's working.
No, it's raining.
Dripping on the computer.
Is it raining?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe you should move. You just come closer. We're not that many today, so. And then for question 3, you had some troubles, or if I remember correctly.
The number 3.
Yeah.
It says marking task as completed.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky,
I didn't
tricky
get
question
that.
maybe. But
It's just
I think I was trying to give a hint without saying too much.
I saw your hint, but
Yeah.
Can you use inner join
Inner join.
for that to mark it as completed? Inner join with the status.
You might be able to, but you don't necessarily need to. Actually, it's basically the same as the one before.
yeah.
So it's just a different status
Just
ID.
update.
Yeah. So you can just actually use what you already have here. And then, of course, we only need to modify one thing. So it's just status. And I think it's probably status 3 that's completed. So, but yeah, it was maybe a bit tricky to understand that one. I guess usually what you would do when you have it in an application is you would first fetch all the possible statuses and save them for later. So you don't need to do it each time.
it's like if you associate it with a video box or drop down.
Yeah, exactly. So you would need to print it in anyway. So you just make a key value pair basically, or like an object in JavaScript. Because the status is probably not going to change that much.
And you as well?
Yeah, he doesn't screen when I move.
Oh yeah, I can see the raindrops coming in. It's not so good. Okay,
It's badly.
we'll see if we're can get through this. Deleting a task. That's pretty straightforward. Of course, I don't think I have a task with ID 36, but I did apparently. Okay. Yeah, and deleting a user is the same. So we can delete user 1, for example. Okay. Do you have any questions regarding the homework? Anything you're unsure about or something?
About this, creating an index on the index creating. If we create index, then how I know index is working?
You can check it with the explain keyword. So we can try to demonstrate maybe. I don't think there's any indexes on this database yet. But imagine we had.
I have to create in step 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would create it with the create index, and then give it some name maybe. Usually, by convention, people call it IDX, but it could be anything. So task title, for instance. And then I guess it's on task.title or something. No. Okay.
On task, and then you have to open parentheses.
Ah, okay, yeah. So it's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because you can also have an index on multiple columns together.
Yeah.
Just like you can have a primary key from multiple columns. Yeah. So like that, and then you have an index. So in this, I can see the indexes here. I have a new index here, but I can also see it when I try to query. If I want to look for a task with a specific title.
You have a special raincoat.
Wow. Nobody wants
Yeah,
to
the rain is
I mean,
pouring down.
it's a
So say I want to find this row by searching for the title. So if I know the specific title, I can just say equals, but otherwise I would need to use the like keyword from task where title equals, and then in single quotes I put this. So when I run this, we get this. But if I put explain in front, MySQL is going to explain what it's going to do to fetch this. So we can see that it looks at what possible keys can I use to make this faster, and then it shows this key, which is the one we just added. So if it wasn't, if we removed the index, then it should just say, let's see, save. I try to run it again. Then possible keys is null, and the key is null. So it's going to use basically just scan the whole table to find it. But of course, in this example, there's not enough rows to actually make a difference.
So this indexing system is only for computer to scan.
Yeah, so it's like the example we talked about last time was a filing cabinet, where you have, if you just have all the files from one end to the other, and or maybe not even in order, and you have if you have to find one by first name, for instance, you have to go through them all to make sure you find the right one. But if you put in these little notes about from A and then from B and so on, then it's a lot faster. You only need to search a subset to find it. So that's basically how indexes work. And you can also have what's known as a unique index, which is more or less the same as a primary key. So if you want to make sure that a value is unique across all rows, then you can use that. It's sometimes a good idea if you have like a users table with the email field, just to make sure that there's only one person that can have that specific email. Then you can say it's a unique key. So because you shouldn't use the email as a primary key, that's a bit dangerous to do, because it could change over time. So yeah. Any other questions to the homework? Or?
And we have to create also a status name not started, the last one.
Oh,
On
yeah, right.
Finished. But how we see?
Add a new column to the class table named status, which can only have the following values. Oh yeah, that's right. The enumeration stuff. So, did anyone try this?
Yeah, I did it, but how I see it's added to the main table.
Then you can use describe. Yeah, exactly. So describe what is the task, I guess. So like this. Then you get all the fields or the columns. But yeah, how would you?
If you select from select from class, then it will show you the null value.
The null value?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, from
It's
the
not,
previous rows.
showing all like ongoing, finish. It doesn't. You will not see anything.
So what you did was you
Select.
probably said just to add the fields. It's going to be something like alter table something something
Class.
class.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't task. Oh, class table.
Class table.
Oh yeah. So actually we need to create that first. Let's see. Maybe it's step 2. So this one. Let me just create a new database. Oh, not that one. This one. Yeah, so the class table, there's nothing in it right now, but if we put in some data, let me see, what should we put in? Databases. This is just a date value, right? I don't know. Let's say it's a long class. Okay. So then the task was to alter the table to add a new column. So we're going to run alter table class, and then what did you put in?
Add status.
Add status.
And then enum.
Enum.
And then open parenthesis. Not started, ongoing, and finish. These 3.
Okay. Like this,
Yeah.
or did you put in quotes?
Quote here.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you almost always need this when you put in some kind of text or date, the single quotes. So not started in progress or
Ongoing.
ongoing, and then
Finish.
finished, like this. Now when I do this, by default MySQL always makes a field or a column nullable if you don't specify anything else. So that's why you're getting nulls. So what we could do was say not null, but then this is gonna give you an error. Can you figure out why?
Because it's not specified.
Yeah, it's basically because there's MySQL can't know what to put in there if there's no possibility of putting in null. So it's gonna panic and say, I don't know how to do this. I'm pretty sure at least. Oh, actually it didn't. That's kind of surprising.
It uses the first value, I think.
Automatically.
Okay, yeah.
Use the first one.
So, but otherwise you could we can put in another one. Yeah.
No, actually it's not.
Then not null, and then we could also specify a default if we want. If, for instance, we didn't want the first value to be the default, we can say default 2. Then that would be the default for all the rows that are already in the database. So that's pretty important actually to remember if you are dealing with a database that's been running for some time, because you're gonna have a lot of rows and you probably gonna need to do some modifications at some point. So it's a good thing to have a local copy so you don't mess up something, and then try to think about all these scenarios, because otherwise it could go wrong.
This is the thing.
Maybe we should delete the column.
So I guess maybe that was the last task in the homework. So we can maybe look at the new stuff.
Can you run Windows? You gotta use Windows?
No, it's Linux. Did you look into any of this before today, maybe?
I watched the video playlist on it.
Yeah, it's a paid service, so it's a bit difficult. But you can get a free demo account for, I don't know, maybe a month or something. But you have to make sure that you remove the credit card before it expires. Otherwise, it's gonna charge. So, is it 2 months or?
No, I mean, it's gotta go to rent. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you have to remove it at once so you don't get billed. But I don't know, there's a bit of reading material as well. Don't know if you read about it. The foreign keys. It's quite a nice article, if I remember correctly. If it's loading. The Wi-Fi is a bit slow. Yeah, but that would be nice to read, just to get a better understanding of what foreign keys do in the database and why we need them. And we talked a bit about it, but this goes into some more details.
Can you put that link on?
Yeah. Good idea. But yeah, the topic for today is mostly just repeating what we've talked about before, actually, and going into a bit more depth of the many-to-many relationships, and yeah, maybe we can do some exercises with that a bit later on.
This is the last week, today's last day?
Yeah, and then next time it's just we go through the homework, and then I think you're going to start having React, actually. That's going to be exciting, probably. Yeah, there's this ER diagram, and there's also an example database that you should probably try to get up and running. I can just post the link on Slack. So that one, it should have both the tables and some data. It's kind of the expanded version of the to-do app that we've been working with so far. So maybe I should just pause for a bit and we can make sure everyone is up and running with the database.